There it is. All right. Hey guys, it is Monday night. It's June 8th. It's our second Monday in June already. And this is our final session for Builder Circle. And really what I wanted to do tonight, like we're getting so close to convention, about 40 days out, which is I guess probably a lot we could talk about spiritually with that, but about 40 days out from it. And rather than sit around and wait, kind of holding on, waiting and seeing what's coming, to really use this opportunity of like, what could we be doing to optimize our mindset, optimize our actions so that when we do learn about our rebrand, the transformation, all that's coming, that we're ready and in position to receive it and then be able to roll it out and help other people with it. So I decided just to combine this with team time tonight. I really don't expect us to go all the way until 8 o'clock. That's a long time. I would assume that we'll probably go till about 7:30. And if depending on how conversation's flowing, we'll just keep it open as needed. What I would really love is if you haven't had the opportunity to sit in on our new client support group that meets at 8 o'clock, which is Dan Valentine's group. Actually, I say Dan Valentine's, it's most of the organization puts their clients in there. If you have not been on one of their calls yet, I encourage you to start that practice. One thing I've learned along the way is if we want our clients to engage and see things as important, we have to see them as important on our own personal journeys as well. So they get about 300, 350 people on their calls. They run it like this. And they're just really good. And then right afterwards, it flows into, I'm going to put the link in the comments, but right afterwards, it flows into Dan Valentine's team call. And I did see that tonight they're going to have 10 ways that you can market and use the metabolic scan. So this is our new tool that we have that somebody can fill out, get an idea of where they are with their metabolic health. It's a great marketing tool. So if you're looking for new ideas, I wanted to leave space that you wouldn't be sitting in front of your computer for hours with that. So let me drop in the chat the link. So they use the same link for their client call at 8 o'clock, and then it flows right into their coach call. So that would be the link for it. So let's talk instead of like jumping into actions, etc. Let's talk about where you are and what's one thing that you have been doing consistently or that you are proud of since we started this builder circle, which has been actually since the end of April. And if you're not in Builder Circle, what is something that you are proud of that you are doing either with your personal health or with the business that you're doing consistently? And you can pop it in the chat. You can come off mute. The beauty of these calls is that they've been very, very, I just love the way that they have flown, being very conversational. So I'm not going to talk. And if there's nothing, we're just going to wrap it up. Because I got nothing. If you're not doing anything consistently, nothing you're proud of, then we're in rough shape.
Well, I'll speak up. I can say that I'm definitely proud of not of the business side, but of my personal health journey side. I posted a picture on Facebook yesterday of a year difference of what I looked like last year versus this year. And that just put a limelight in the transformation that this program does for individuals, and in hoping that it will spark others into joining me. Of course, I did mention when somebody asked yesterday, no medicines are involved. Though medicines aren't a bad thing, that isn't the course that I took, thankfully. And just going from there, and then I'll be having dinner with somebody on Wednesday, and I'm sure I'll be talking about the program at that time too.
That is great. That is great. I was going to share this later on, but honestly, everybody, like people connect with us and our stories. And so one of the questions I would ask is when's the last time you shared something about your story? It could be something that you're currently working on, or it could just be your story. Why did what made you move forward with this program with Optavia? What were you looking for? What was your pain point, etc.? Because you have many followers and people around who maybe have never seen your story, or just it's going to land and touch. So, Lynette, congratulations, one, for doing the do for yourself and your personal journey, but then stepping out there and showing the difference in a year. I saw that picture and it was, I wanted to, especially in your midsection, I wanted to say like, wow, like visceral fat burned away. Like you, it was really, really obvious. So congrats. Congrats. All right. Bill, tell us about your 100 conversations. How, like, what, give us a couple examples of what they sound like, what you've been doing.
Sorry, I'm putting gas in the car. We leave for
Oh,
youth camp on Friday. We're running crazy. So I started with all of my past clients and then just reach out. Hey, I've been out of the loop. I had the advantage. Wendy and I just got back from sabbatical. So it was like, hey, I was out of pocket for the last 90 days. Just want to reconnect. And I was able to start 100 new conversations over the last 6 weeks. And so just being really open. Hey, I last year was kind of a wash for me. Our church bought a building. I was very, very busy, kind of lost the way, got frustrated with kind of depending on people's responses to things for my not my necessarily for myself, but for my for my business. I'm like, the business is not doing it and so I got a little disappointed and discouraged and said, well, I'm just going to dig into myself and do all of the projects. And I just was honest with people. I said, hey, that's where I've been the last year. But here I'm recommitting, redoing. And, right now there's about 12 to 15 people that are saying, hey, sorry, there's like lawnmower. 12 to 15 people say, hey, I want to re-engage and or start for the first time. So out of those 100 conversations, I've had about 15 people say, I'm ready. Now we're doing the work of getting from ready to actually starting.
wow. Wow. One question that congratulations on that because that's the difference maker. And I mean we could all question ourselves if we done 100. I'd be pleased if I did 100 conversations and had 10 to 12 people interested that I knew were going to become fence sitters, whether or not they did it immediately or soon. But Bill, if you can talk still, one question that came up was how did you reach out to people? Was it phone, text, email?
I started with an email to everyone. So I did my whole email list, and then kind of went through text messages, messengers, and then started following up with actual phone calls. So it was kind of a three-step process. But I warmed everything up with an email first, and then kind of social media slash messenger stuff, and then working the likes and comments on that, and then following up with phone calls. But yeah, it started out with an email was how I broke the ice again.
I love that because then you can, if anybody else is thinking about this, you can always then send a text or something like, "Hey, I'm not sure if you saw my email, but or I know a lot of emails get overlooked. I just wanted to personally reach out, blah, blah, blah." So yeah, that is wonderful. I mean, we have, when we talk about the five things we could be doing, one of them is connecting with people that are already in your world. So your inactives, your people that have done health assessments, that it's an opportunity to follow up with them. All of them are good people to be having conversations with. So, Meg, congratulations on 23 pounds down. How does that feel?
Feels great. I just ate my little protein burger all by itself with my little fork and knife. So it feels great. Feels great.
Good. And then, how do you feel like that? Did working on your personal health help you get out of your comfort zone to start reaching back out to people?
For sure, for sure. And I was so encouraged. I had a client who rolled up to me that, you know how we message everyone whenever they order and um, didn't hear back, messaged him again, and I got a message back and he was like, I really need some support. And got on the phone. He was incredibly vulnerable and kind. He's an attorney. And anyways, it's been really cool to walk him through the process and just re- be reminded of how much value we bring when we talk to our, when our clients will receive our help, right, when we get the privilege of being able to walk along the journey with them. And he's down, I think, like 13 pounds and, like, not very much time at all, and just he was on the verge of giving up. And so that's been super encouraging.
Yeah. Great reminder for all of us, right? Like, not everybody is going to come with open arms, and some people who've utilized the program in a certain way for their own needs, not really realizing the pattern in the loop and maybe not wanting to recognize it. But there are those that will raise their hand, and say, you know what, I can't do this alone. And congrats for talking them off the ledge. Or
Yeah.
yeah, because that's the difference. I think, most people, if they're trying to do things on their own, right? You see them, they leave, they're gone for a few months, then they come back.
Yeah.
And if we can have that connection, hopefully it's just a little dip, and then they can keep going. And that applies to us as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, as coaches and clients. Um, okay, this is huge, Kelly. Vulnerability, right? Now you come from a very medical background. It's real easy for, I'm sure, to hide behind the statistics and kind of the way you've always done things before, after, I can help. So tell me about the vulnerability and what that's looked like, what that's felt like for you.
Well, for one thing, people relate to it more. You know, so it's one thing to establish the facts and establish that you know something, that you can share something, and people to trust that, okay, that person knows and can help me. But what means the most is when you show your weaknesses and your challenges and the things that worried you. And being in helping people with diabetes and kidney disease and heart disease for so many years, and then when I began to see myself go into that same spot, saw the labs going in that direction, saw myself going in that same direction. Here I am. How hypocritical is it to be advising somebody, right? And then you yourself, so that was something that meant a lot to me. And so when I've exposed that type of, what I was doing as far as just how I felt, thinking, like today I posted and I had posted about it before, about my concerns about my clients in the dialysis chair and what it does to their lives. I mean, yes, it's a life-saving treatment. They would be 6 feet under if they weren't doing dialysis. Yes. But it is a totally different, lifestyle that they have to adjust to. And they're giving up a lot of things. And there's a window in there when they could have had things turn around another direction, and nobody ever told them. And I don't want people to be in that situation. We can tell them. We can turn things around. And I know we don't think about kidney disease being something we can turn around, but if we're turning around diabetes type 2 and high blood pressure, those are the two main reasons for kidney disease. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if we can help them reverse that, we're heading that off. And what happens is their kidney function and heart function goes down gradually, and nobody's saying, you better straighten up. You're going to end up with XYZ. They're not telling them that. They're just saying, here's the medicine. We'll do this, pat you on the head, send you on your way. And not that I want to fuss at people. I just want them to realize that scared me. I didn't want to be in that situation. And I knew that every single one, my heart went out to each one of those people, because you get to know your patients, and, knowing that now I know that every single one of those people didn't have to be in that dialysis chair necessarily. They could have had something turn around had they met one of us soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's, just knowing that we have that kind of, they have that kind of, we can empower them to be that kind of person.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it when you said, you don't want to shame them, right? Or,
Mm-mm,
we can't scare tactic people. I mean, people already
mm-mm.
know the risk and that sort of thing. There's enough shame out there. So I think I hear a lot of heart in what you just shared. I felt like your energy was calm in the way you just shared that. I know in one of your posts you shared about your own A1C being high, at one point, and that's what people can connect to is like somebody who's been there that does it, that gets it, right, and can walk them through it. So congrats, because that's huge. And um, that slight tweak of, we're in a unique space right now because we are in a space that we're educating about metabolic health, right? But we can't forget our human connection. Like at the end of the day, we are relationship and connection, helping people with their most valuable asset, and resource. And so I think the best that we can keep the human side of this, that's what's going to make us stand apart. So that's great. That's great. Frank, tell us a little bit more about your comment, what you're discovering.
Well,
Where
I
you,
um I like these, for lack of better terms, these specialty Zooms or these specialty groups because they identify people. And Sean and I are really busy. We're just like everybody. We're busy and we're pretty much going from morning to night with a lot of different things. And I found myself taking some of that time and meeting on a Zooms with certain people or engaging in phone calls with certain people. I mean, for hours and hours and hours, if you total it all up. And only for them to say, they're going to be here on the Zoom or they're going to do this post or they're going to do that. And certainly everybody has their own goals. I'm not out to set their goals, but to me, it's like, did I just waste my time? I mean, did I waste hours and hours and hours for somebody who's not even serious enough to show up for 30 minutes or make a 5-minute post or do something to help their own business? Not my business, because our business is going to continue to grow, but their own business and their own family and their own lives. So for me, it's identified, holy smokes, I really need to put my energy, my time, because I got only a finite amount of it to somebody who's serious. Not that I won't continue to love on other people, not that I won't always be there to help them if they reach out, but I love these specialty Zooms because of that. They identify people. Team time doesn't always identify people. People are going to show up in team time and kumbaya and hold hands and just, oh, be around in the community. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But these are specialty Zooms. And so they identify people, and I love it for that. And I appreciate your time and the energy you poured into that, Dee, because I know it is not easy. There's no way I would want to do this week in and week out, all the work that's required. So I appreciate your time and effort and what it's done for us as well. Thank you.
yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And as we build and bring on new coaches, right? And that is our future. So, is something that we're going to all work together to gain our skills and confidence and do because it's such a huge opportunity. But the coaches will fall into three categories. And do you guys know what the three categories are over time? They reveal themselves over time.
Lovers, leaners, and something else, right?
Yep. So lovers, leaners, and leaders. Okay. So lovers, and there's like all three are good. It's what makes what makes who we are. But lovers are the ones that, not looking to build a big business with this, helping a few people, being a senior coach, being an executive director, whatever that looks like for them. That's enough. Right? What they appreciate is what Optavia has done for them, the friendships that they have made, the community, the personal development keeps us engaged with our own journeys. There's a million reasons to love Optavia. And so things like team time are there for that, right? Because that's how we can come together. In-person events are great for that category. Leaners are people that are maybe haven't been exposed yet, like really caught the vision, or maybe I don't know about you, but like there's been seasons like something went off on me and then I grew to another level. I got the vision changed, right? So leaners are going to be there. They want to learn, et cetera. And some leaners will be pushed to the, not pushed, but like make that crossover. And so events like this, the boot camps, the special things that we have on every other Thursday, like sometimes those, like listening to other people, can help somebody move forward, capture that vision bigger. And then leaders, are ones that are going to do it with or without you. Right? They will figure it out. They will be on the calls. They'll find calls you didn't even know were happening and be on them, et cetera. And so, and that's what makes a company. So, that's that if you're not sure. So when people come on, I think what we get better at as time goes by is recognizing where to put the energy, because because actions speak way louder than words. And then if somebody is getting stuck with their actions, then it's our role either as that coach or to work with our mentorship team, a leader, to help maybe unveil and reveal what's underneath there, because they want to do it and there's a disconnect why they're not doing it. So there's something in the headspace that's blocking it. So, all right. Is there anything in the chat I need to address? I see a few things there. Okay, Stephanie Schaefer, good. Getting involved in the community. We're going to come back to that. All right. Okay. So between now, so things that will most likely move the dial, because all we can do at this point, you guys, is control our actions, right? Same thing like when you're on your own health journey, like you can control your actions, how much water you drink, your movement, whether or not you follow the 5-in-1 compliantly or whatever plan you're on, the outcome on the scale, right? We can't always predict what's going to happen there. So the first thing is always going to be to stay engaged in your own personal health journey. You're going to hear that over and over and over again. So as we come to the close of this call, you're going to be challenged to like, what is your health goal between now and convention? And what we need is something specific. So all of us are in a different space. So yours might be that you want to lose 5 pounds of fat, right? And then we can re-engineer what you have to do in order to do that. Yours might be a commitment to healthy movement 3 times a week. So that between now and convention, like whatever it is for you, maybe it's establishing a regular bedtime and getting off your screens, right? Like health means a lot of different things, but what is one thing that if you could commit now and reflect at convention that you would have a noticeable difference and something you could be proud of by convention? And we're going to circle back on that. The second activity is what Bill alluded to or described so well, which is connect with your existing clients and contacts. So those personal conversations, direct reach outs to individuals. So maybe ask yourself, who have I been meaning to reach out to? Most of us usually have some name, something nagging at us, but who could you consistently be reaching out to? And then the third is building relationships outside of social media. We're going to come back to that. The fourth, share your story, your health story. More people are going to be more likely to move on your health story, but I don't want to discourage also coach post as well. Like coaching about your own personal, like what a difference it has made in your life, that sort of thing as well. What did you say? Frank, I'm not getting a haircut until I hit my weight loss. Oh, all right. All right. All right. And then the fifth activity is create an opportunity for connection. And that might be starting a WOW group. Some of us, I know Monica Lennon just started one in her area, have started like a Women of Wellness group, do a metabolic reset event, do a coffee meetup, networking, a lunch and learn. Like those are the things. So 5 things. So working on our own health, connecting with our current clients, our inactive clients, and our connections, building relationships outside of social media, sharing your own personal journey, and then looking for opportunities for connection. Because relationships and conversations matter a whole lot more, you guys, than algorithms right now. It is when you are sitting across from somebody on a Zoom, sitting across from them over a cup of coffee, sitting, having a small group in your room, being out. That's what's going to make the difference. And everything, I just heard this phrase the other day by Eric Worre, who is a huge network marketing guru. He just released a new book, did a conference on Saturday, and his phrase was, everything old is new again. So old school picking up the phone, old school direct reach out via text, old school sitting down to coffee, old school gathering people around. All of that is what's new again, right? We went through a season when it was different, but this is what is working now. So I know somebody in the comments just commented, but like the questions to ask yourself is like, if social media went away, where would my next client come from? Where would my next coach come from? What about referrals, right? What could we be doing to improve referrals? That could be through your existing clients. It could be building relationships with a chiropractor, a personal trainer, et cetera, to get those referrals if they're not interested in coaching. So really want to encourage opening your mindset to, all right, if that wasn't an option, and for many of us, I will say social media has not been an option or a source of clients. So just like that old book from, I think it was from the 80s, Who Moved My Cheese? Our cheese got moved big time. So where are we going to go to find it? Questions around that? Feedback?
I think in a lot of places there are a lot more networking type groups popping up. Are there especially the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's a lot more just generic, some are for women only and some are for, and so I'm just seeing that it's advertised on social media. Okay, I'm seeing it advertised on social media, and sometimes I'm getting email, but I'm not sure. I think that's spam. So I'm not responding to those. But it's I think there's just a lot more, outside of, like, I'm already part of BNI, but outside of BNI, like other groups. And
Oh, yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with, going into these other groups too. So I just that's something that I'm like, okay, I'm going to start carving out time in my schedule somewhere to go to, something new like that at least once a month, so that I
Love
can
that.
meet new people and new faces and see if some of these other groups are something that I might want to be a part of, see if they gel.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had a one-to-one with somebody today who is connected. He's a marketer, but he's connected to a lot of people in gyms and salons.
Mm.
And and he was like, I don't have anybody that does what you do. And I think that would be a good connection for them. Of course, he wants to be able to advertise me, but not only that, he is connected to some good people that we could, so that's maybe a possible channel.
Yeah. You never know. And I was reminded late last week in a conversation with somebody that like one conversation or one introduction could radically change your life, change your business. Like you just never know who's connected to what door may open, etc. One dream team member could radically change your business, right? Which could happen because you decided to take that line dancing class. And you know what I mean? You were tripping over your own feet and you joked with the girl next to you and whatever. Like if networking, like, you get a visceral reaction, like, "Ugh, I can't go to networking." Well, maybe it's mahjong. Maybe it's, a book club. Maybe it's, something else. There's a million opportunities to meet people, but we've got to get out of our house to do it. I started that Women of Wellness group, but I found another group on social media, and it's they're really thriving, and I can tell you why, because they have the word wine in their list in their name, but it's like women something wine and something, but they have something going on this Thursday night, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go bounce in a couple of these things and just meet some new people, right? Like, it doesn't have to be an actual networking event. It's just people that are in a different season of life that want to connect. So, all right. Um, the other thing that I think over the next couple of weeks, like it's exciting, like to think about our rebrand, et cetera, but also like it can be hard to take action when maybe your belief is down, when you're not getting the results, so you feel like you're doing the work, you're not getting the results, et cetera. Um, and honestly, I've had moments like over the past year where belief isn't there, frustration is high, et cetera. And I guess I would ask this question because I know the answer for me, but what is it for you? Like, what tends to decrease first, your belief or your actions? Like, you can put it in the chat. Like, what tends to decrease first for you? Because they're definitely related. Actions, yeah, actions, yeah, actions decrease first. Yep, actions. So, what do you think it is that actually builds belief? Because I think a lot of times we're waiting for belief, we're waiting for inspiration, we're waiting for motivation, we're waiting for some big rebrand, we're waiting for something that's going to rock our world. Yes, yeah, yep, actions, right? Because but it is a vicious circle, and our expectations of those actions, if we think, well, I'm going to do it and nothing's going to come out of it, nothing will. But if we do it and we do it with heart and belief that, you know what, I'm going to touch, there's somebody out there, I'm going to touch them. Yeah, actions wane, but they are the building blocks. And so the people who are successful, through what we've been through Optavia, it's the people that are still showing up, which I commend you guys in still showing up and doing the actions. Without any kind of judgment, because we all experience this on some level because we're humans and we're entrepreneurs and we don't like to be told what to do. We want to be our own boss, but sometimes being your own boss is like your own worst enemy. If you were honest with yourself, is there something that you know or wish that you were doing that you think that it would make a difference in your business? Just put a 1 in the chat if that relates at all. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think the question there, and that really is probably better suited for a private mentor session or one-to-one. And I met with all of you guys before we started. I'm happy to do one as we close out this session. But what's in the gap, right? Or maybe like we are only going to grow when we are willing to look within and see what's going on with us and our own particular thought patterns and what's holding us back, or working with somebody who can maybe see it when we can't see it ourselves. And Lord knows I've needed a lot of help over the years for things that I can't see. But we cannot get upset by the results we didn't get because of the work we didn't do. We just can't. And what we want to do is we want to blame Optavia. We want to go into a scarcity mindset. We want to blame it on the drugs. We want to blame it on whatever. But if we can be really true to ourselves but I'm not really doing all that I could, then we have to be okay with that outcome. And if you're not, then like what millimeter thing could you do? I will tell you, I got really stuck. I used to approach people all the time about the business. all the time about the business. It was easy, it flowed. I knew I was successful. I knew I'd help build people up to successful businesses, etc. But I have like gone into paralysis about it. I have a list of people, but in paralysis. Finally, like at the end of the day, one day last week, just took two. Just did two, did that random text, hey, this might seem out of left field, blah, blah, blah. One, I got my answer. She's not interested. Okay. But well, one, I can't tell you how good it felt to actually do those two. Like seriously, the pain and torture of not doing something, I actually have realized is probably worse than doing it. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah. Like how much do we beat ourselves up or we're just constantly in angst, like, oh, I really should, whatever. But the other one, I have an appointment with. So one out of two is not bad, right? For two people that I reached to. And one was actually wasn't somebody who was initially on my list, but I saw an opportunity from something somebody said, and I decided to act on it instead of talk myself out of it. And we have an appointment. So, so I would just encourage you with that, maybe the Mel Robbins, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. Whatever you may have a list of 50 people, reach to one. Like just start with the millimeters with it. All right. Kelly, the new system tools, yes, so duplicatable. I think if we don't have a growing business, part of it is because we don't have a great duplication system that is both in the tools that we use and in our delivery and how we guide somebody, like whether it be a new client or a new coach. So thank you, Optavia, because they are working hard to create those systems for us. Oh, all right. And let's see. As we prepare for convention, as we prepare for 3.0, I guess my question would be right now, what are you most excited about or what are you most curious about? And let's just kind of roundtable this one. You can come off mute. Like as conventions come in, what are you most excited about? What opportunity do you see? What are you most curious about?
I'll jump in here.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we hear about convention is the official launch of 3.0 and all the things. And totally transparent, I hope it's going to be everything that the hype is proclaiming it's going to be. Because I think there's going to be a lot of people disappointed if it's not. So I think it will be. I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I think come July, August, I think that Optavia is probably going to turn the wellness market on its head based on everything we're hearing. And I think it's going to be a great time to be a coach that's in action. So that's what I'm most excited about is come July and August. I think there's going to be a radical shift in what we're doing and how we're doing it and the impact that we're going to have with people.
Yeah. Yeah. Beth has said, what's the new name? I think we're all very curious about that. Yep. How about you, Kelly? You got your hand raised.
I'm excited to find out about what they found out about the pilot program with the new ingredients and the fuelings and how much better, because I've heard a few people report about how much better it works and how well it's working. And I would have loved to have been in that pilot, but but I can't wait to be able to use those and talk about it. And, just that in and of itself, I think is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. Just that by itself, there's going to be other stuff, but that alone.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that too. So if you're not aware, my understanding is this. I always have to preface it with this because I don't know any more than you do, but like my understanding is this, that the fuelings are going to be enhanced. They have announced with those 3 different additional minerals, whatever that help in the fat loss process. And so Optavia is doing a pilot with those people doing like the 5-in-1 or 5-in-1 active program and actually replacing the existing essential fuelings with the new ones that will be released. And my understanding is also from previews of people that I've seen from others is there is, I think, more visceral fat loss is what I'm hearing, more visceral fat loss and faster fat loss than the current system. So that's going to be pretty impressive for us to be able to share. Just kind of back to what somebody said earlier, I think Lynette, when you talk about, we can help people who are on the GLP-1s, we have great programs and tools for that, but also being able to say, hey, we can help with the rapid, because people at the end of the day, they want rapid weight loss. Let's just face it. But we're going to combine it with the behavioral, the lifestyle support, and the muscle retention, which is unmatched. So yeah, so new name, global expansion, ingredients, the price point. Yeah, all excited about that. So I would be thinking about, how do you want to show up at convention, right? Because we've got 40 days. Like you might even look at the past, since we started Builder Circle or something and not really be happy with your outcome, but we haven't finished the story yet, right? Like 40 days, you still can be positioning, working on yourself, your own personal health, working on the things that you can do to hopefully be in the framework and the mindset. So you're proud of who you are when you show up at convention and very open to what it is that's going to be delivered, because we do want to take whatever it is and be able to roll with it. So your 40-day commitment, and if you know what these are now, you can post it in the chat here, or what you can post it in our Builder Circle group. But what our challenge is for all of us to do, 3 commitments over the next 40 days. The first one we already talked about, which is your own personal health commitment. What is it that you will pursue? So make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, right? Not that we're going to lose 50 pounds by convention, but what is the goal there? Okay. The second is the relationship commitment. So what will you do now, between now and 40 days from now and convention, to build relationships outside of social media? So will that be attending a network group? Will it be hosting a group? Will it be just scheduling coffee with somebody? That's good. It can look different, right? We're all wired differently, what we'll receive to, but something outside of social. What would you do to intentionally build relationships? And then a business commitment, meaning what activity will you do consistently? So maybe that's making follow-up calls, talking to your clients about referrals, having referral things, attending events, attending all team time meetings. All right. And then I would ask you, of those 3, which one do you think will make the biggest impact if you actually followed through with it for all of the days? Oh, thank you, Shauna, for telling us what the commitments, or what the supplements are with it. So Frank, 3 commitments: personal health, relationship commit, building. Yep. Good. Thank you for writing that out. All right. And somebody already put it out there. Was that you, Kelly? Personal, decrease visceral fat by 2%. Is that right? 2 points, Kelly?
The visceral fat index, well, so the healthy is 0 to 5 for visceral fat index. And so mine is at 8, and I want to get down to a 6 before convention. So, because I'm I got to get rid of the rest of this belly. I mean, good grief. And the visceral fat, when we target the visceral fat, that subcutaneous fat is low hanging fruit, guys. It just comes on off too. That visceral fat, if you're focusing on that, but you got to be consistent to make that visceral fat come off. So that's the thing. Yeah. And I'm typing in my business one because I don't want to chatty up, use everybody else's.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Anybody else want to share? All right.
I think out of those 3, the personal health will make the biggest impact for me personally on our business. So
Yeah.
I know that was one of your, which one?
And is that tell us more about that. Why do you feel that way, Shauna?
It'll give me more confidence. It will make me more bold about my posts and actually give me something more to post about. So yeah, I mean, because I remember how excited I was early on, and I was always posting about it. So
Hmm.
I think
And
that,
people follow energy.
yeah,
People follow energy. We can put knowledge post or thoughtful post, etc.
yeah.
But if you want people to follow and come along, it's going to be through our energy and how strongly we believe. Yeah. All right, Debbie, you're muted.
My computer died like right when you were about to get into something super exciting, and so I had to come back on my phone. So I missed what you were saying, the three things that we are going to do for our personal health and three for our business. Is that what you're?
No, it's actually three commitments total, and Frank put it out in the chat. One personal goal that you will commit to between now and convention, one relationship commitment. How will you build relationships outside of social media? And the third being a business commitment, a business
Okay.
activity commitment.
Okay, I can say what mine are then.
Okay, sweet.
I am definitely focusing on my health. I'm definitely wanting to lose some visceral fat. Um,
I would say get specific.
like how much visceral fat?
Just like Kelly said, she wanted to drop hers by 2 points or whatever. But I think we have to, with any kind of health goal, we need to be specific with, and you don't have to do it right this second. You might have, we can talk about it, but just how will we know if that happened? Right? Like, like if somebody says,
Yeah,
I want to lose weight by convention. Well, is that 1 pound or is that 10 pounds?
I think I don't care what weight happens. I'm just, I care about being consistent, like getting on 5 and 1 and staying on 5 and 1 and not being like, well, it's just a drink on a Friday night. If I get on 5 and 1, I know the pounds will come off. I don't know how many will come off, but if I stay consistent, that's how I'll know I won. That's how
Yeah.
I'll feel like I succeeded. And then relationships, I honestly, so, or for business, I want to figure out the referral thing, like the link that we tell our clients, hey, you just send it to me. And I want to figure out this new coach method, this new thing. I just think it's so good. And I definitely was having technical difficulties trying to create a cart. So my goal is to get in there and figure that out. And then relationship, I intend to really dive in deep with my relationships with the people that I feel like are the most high quality candidates.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I encourage all of us, because and I love you said I want to, and then you said I will. Like I want to learn those tools. I want to learn the referral process. If you'll commit it, like watch your language, like I will. I am going to learn the referral process. And then I really encourage you to schedule it. Like you would a dentist appointment, et cetera. Schedule a time that you will sit down, read through what's available and coach answers about it, play with it, try it with a client so that you can be proficient. Because what's gonna happen is we're gonna get busy and you're start going to get actions. And what you don't want to do is default to your old behaviors. You want to be prepped so that you can start using the new tools or not let not knowing the new tools like the Client Hub and the Coach Hub hold us back. Right. From we can actually sometimes resist bringing on a new client or a new coach because we think we don't know what we're doing. And we might say we want it, but we actually resist it. Our energy resists it because we don't know the systems. So we've got time, right, between now and then. So. All right. Yeah, anybody have an answer for, okay, so we can talk about this for just 1 second. So Linda had asked me the question about having, you want to just say it, Linda?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been hesitant to get the scale. And I also have specifically one client who asked me about it, and everything I've read about it says that you don't get an accurate reading if you have metal. And I've had 2 knee replacements. So I thought, well, I don't know how I can encourage clients to do this when I'm not doing it myself because I'm kind of hesitant. So I don't know if anybody else knows anything more about that.
Shauna, can you elaborate a little bit? Because I know you said you're using it. So have you been able to measure trends with it or?
I don't I wouldn't know if it's not giving me accurate information, because it gives me my weight and my visceral fat and all of that. And if I'm doing the right things, it moves. But
Okay.
after I said that I have two knee replacements, that's titanium, and I think it might be different than maybe Carol's, screws and pins. And Frank would be able to answer that because he's worked in surgery, so he knows the difference. But yeah, I don't know that I have. I wouldn't know.
I mean, mine are titanium too, and I actually reached out to the local gym where I was doing the in body, and kind of waiting for her to respond to me in an email because she was really knowledgeable when I was going over there. So we'll see what she has to say.
Yeah, I would do a little research maybe with ChatGPT or et cetera. You could, somebody proposed here, maybe, get in touch with nutrition support, see if they can offer. There's always the opportunity for a DEXA scan, which is more of an X-ray. And that's the most accurate measurement is a DEXA scan. So, and that's an X-ray, a gentle X-ray. So there are ways that you could be evaluating. My understanding was with the home scales, no matter what, you guys, your home scale, your $24 Renpho is probably not 100% accurate. It is, it reads water, inflammation, all these things can vary our results in what it's reading as muscle, not muscle, et cetera, because it's just coming from the things from your feet with it. But what I use it for is trends. Just like you said, Shauna, is I use it for trends. I've got also some, a situation where my result is probably skewed, but I can watch it for trends. So, and then, like you said, Linda, I love your consciousness to it because you've got to be aware or at least know how to use one of those scales or whatever so that you can coach your clients for it. And it is our future. Yeah.
And that's kind of how I look at it. It's a pulse check. And I know it's not 100% accurate too, because no home scale is going to be. But who's going to go get a DEXA scan every month to see how they're
Yeah.
doing? So it's
Right.
just a good pulse check. And that's what I tell my clients. It won't be 100% accurate, like if you go to your doctor and you get a DEXA scan. But every one of them have been excited about just having the pulse check. That,
Yeah.
like Dee
Yeah.
said, it shows trends.
Yeah. And I think I love Dominique's suggestion, just contact Renpho or Hume, like their customer service or whatever. Because again, I think it's a question of, I don't think it's going to damage whatever you have in your body. It's just a matter, is it going to read accurately? So, Lynette, she uses her scale. Okay. Wow. Sounds like something serious happened. Screws in your chin and your jaw. Yeah. Watching the trends. So, all right. Oh, I meant to tell, so Bill's on not camera, but I love it. So Bill has taken on his niche market. Do you see his image? Ditch the dad bod. Like he is definitely going for dads being their best, spiritually, physically, etc. So I love that niche that he's doing. All right, that is what we have for tonight. Unless you have any other questions, we've got a little bit of time for you guys to work on your goals, those 3 commitments for yourself. And then I'd highly encourage you, if you haven't started the routine, get on that client support call. And if you want to learn about using that metabolic scan, stay on for the Valentine's team call. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Next week, we will resume back to 7:28 team times on a weekly basis. All right. Okay. Thanks to you guys for all your active participation. I'll see you soon. Bye.